Jared Freid is back. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Play in the Field, a Bachelor podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Field, the sports anchor here at WABC in New York City. Joined now, as always, by our favorites, Jen Matarese, our Bachelor insider from here at WABC in New York. And yes, joining us for part two, Gina Sirico, our Bachelor insider out there in KABC in Los Angeles. Did I say insider twice or did I say expert? We get your titles mixed up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
One's an expert, one's an insider.
Both coasts covered.
Are both coasts covered.
We're a little bit of both.
Coast
We're
to
both
coast.
a little bit of both.
Yeah.
We do know that our guest is both an insider and an expert, all things Bachelor. Jared Freid is back for part two of our conversation. Welcome back, bud.
So happy to be here. This is amazing. I love just having the Bachelor conversation.
I was going to say, you seem right at home
I am
talking
very
about
much
this.
at home.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
And, and you met Gina out in Los Angeles at the taping of the After the Final Rose?
Yes.
Women tell all.
Women
right?
tell all. Women tell all.
all.
Sorry, not the After the Final
This
Rose.
is why I'm an expert.
That's
And
right.
an insider.
And our fact checker, we should point out as well. What was it like being there for the taping of that, for the Women Tell All, which they did revisit parts of the roast as well during that episode?
I loved it. I call any live taping of The Bachelor where they have the live studio audience, I've always called it the Dome of the Undateables. And it's with love. It is.
I was going to say, Gina might take offense to that. No, she won't.
No, because I was there too. It's all.
I wasn't in the dome. I was
you
in
weren't
the
in the
press
dome.
area.
Good
She
point.
was covering the dome. I call it the Dome of the Undateables because to take work off on a Tuesday afternoon to go watch The Bachelor, you really have to be a super fan of love. And the joke was always like the most single people in the world assemble to watch other people fall in love. If they can't have it, they'll watch others have it. And it was great to be in the dome. I was like, one of us, you know. So I've always made fun of people in the audience there. So it was like a dream come true.
I was going to say, especially just to be
Was
in
it
that
everything
studio.
you hoped it would be?
It really was. There are people there are they make signs, and then everyone used to always say, well, the producers make the signs. I'm like, no, I have found out there are people go to the live tapings that's
With signs, they have them.
with
They brought them with
signs.
them.
I was next to a mother-daughter combo. Like they're like, they try to play it down. They're like, no, we were just here on vacation. I'm like, well, is this the centerpiece of your trip? They're like, of course it is. It's like good for them. I love that what a cool thing. You're gonna go to Hollywood. You're gonna be in
Absolutely.
the studio audience.
And
Yeah,
now there's a cruise.
I'm going on the cruise.
Yeah. And
So-
you have like a session or something.
Did they invite you, or you're a paid customer going on the cruise?
Both?
No, both.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. I saw the cruise go on sale, and I called. This is the most Hollywood. I called my agent, and I said, "Get me on that boat." And I was like, "I can do a live stream on the boat." So me and Ben Higgins are gonna do a live stream.
Oh, perfect.
On the boat, and I'm gonna watch like a classic episode of his show with him, and we're gonna make fun of it, and I'm gonna have the clicker, and I'm gonna pause and do what I do on my couch, but with Ben Higgins. I think I can't wait.
Oh, it's gonna
Is
be
it when he says "I love you" to two girls at once?
I think that's the episode. I think that's where we got
It's the only one.
right. Isn't that the one where they had the live moment where didn't they do the sneak attack
Oh.
where they brought her to a special housing for him to end it?
Yeah, something weird.
There was like
I
a
was thinking of maybe Ari though. That might have been
That was
Ari.
Ari.
Might
That
have
was
been
Ari.
Ari
I'm sorry.
Lyndike, yes.
I'm switching up
There's
my
been
guys.
so many breakups.
There's a lot of breakups. So Ben Higgins and I, we're gonna go. I'll find a good episode to make fun of with him.
Nice.
But I can't wait. Yeah, the cruise. I mean, and then I got a room for my parents.
Oh, they're coming too?
Yeah, they're coming to my parents. Like, we love a
boy.
cruise. We're coming. I go. So we got them a room. I'm gonna be there.
This is going to be another hour stand-up for you.
No
Yeah.
question. I'm going to be on the pool deck. I'm going to be on the shuffleboard courts. I'm going to be all over.
Do you get nervous when they watch you as opposed to strangers?
Yes.
Yeah.
When my parents come to
normal?
my parents. I just did shows in Fort Lauderdale. I live in Delray Beach, and they brought 30 friends.
Oh wow.
30 friends, and I had to do my show for them. And my parents, my parents and their friends, when they come to a show, they're expecting the most worked out. You gotta be cats.
You gotta hit it.
You gotta hit it. Bring it.
Right.
And it is a lot of pressure because I once did a show and my parents came because it was at my parents live in like a country club community in Boca, like as Seinfeld as it gets, okay? And
At Del Boca Vista?
Del Boca Vista, everything they talked about is true. I get invited to do a show at another place. So my parents are like, we want to go. We want to see how the other people are living. They want to go check out the, opposing team. And my dad goes, get me 12 tickets. I was like, I can't get you 12 tickets. So I get him 12 tickets.
So you did get him 12 tickets.
Yeah. And then there was no seats left. It was packed. It was a great event. And I go and I'm doing the act at the time was a lot about them. I was working out the material to do about them with the beach and everything. And when I go do a show, I'm doing the show, but I'm also working on a larger goal of making it better to be taped at some point. But there were no seats open. So my parents get there and my dad sits on like the radiator on the left side of the room. And he's like perched up like an eagle watching the set. And he looks just like me. So I did a bit. There's a bit in my special about how we have the same exact body. And you just see the whole room look at me, but then they all know it's my dad. They're like, and I go, yeah, my dad and I have the same exact body. They just look at me. And then the whole room pans to him, and then they look back at me, and then they look at him, and I could tell like the attention's divided, which is like the last thing you want on stand-up. Stand-up, you need full attention. Every word matters. And they're looking at me, looking at him, looking at me, looking at him, and I'm like, I've lost the room because now every joke about my parents. They go from me to him, and I'm like, why is he sitting there? Why isn't he in the back? Get out of here. He's like a gargoyle just hanging over the room. And the set was like mediocre. I didn't have fun. It was tough. I think, again, my version of how it went in the crowd is very different.
Of course.
And I get off stage, and my dad's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting there? And he's like, what? I couldn't sit anywhere. I go, how about you go to the back of the room? You're peering at me the whole set. You're breathing down my neck. Everyone keeps looking at you. Every joke I make. He's like, I didn't even notice. I was like, of course you didn't. You're not the one that has to live and die by every line.
Yeah.
So annoyed. So yes, it does add pressure.
Oh my God.
I grew up in Boca. I went to like middle school and high school there. So off camera, I'll have to ask you if it's the place that I think
you get it. Okay.
We won't talk about it on camera for your parents. But let's talk about Taylor.
Yeah.
Because
Taylor Frankie Paul, Taylor Thomas.
Yes. I am so intrigued by her being the Bachelorette. And what I've heard is that so far it's like an amazing season. So tell me, when you first heard that she was going to be the Bachelorette, what did you think? How did you feel about it?
I thought I was excited because people were going to be excited. I love when there's fanfare around this show. I love attention. So that's all good. I thought it was interesting the way, if you think of it like as a microcosm of media, the fact that they went to a person to buy their algorithm, because that's kind of what you're doing. You get free publicity with every post she does. She is now the walking commercial for your show. So anything she posts is going to do well. There's no guessing. There's no, what hashtag should we use? When you promote a show and you want commercials to like pop off on TikTok and on Instagram, she comes with a worst case scenario that's a lot better than whatever we're trying to figure out. So I think it's interesting from a media standpoint where you go, okay, we are purchasing this algorithm with a minimum view count, and we're going to get interest on the show. We're going to get eyeballs on the show, which is something I always appreciate. The thing, I want that to be thought of. I want, the show to be like, hey, we want people to watch, because the idea of the show, the premise is unbeatable. Mm-hmm. One woman dating 30 guys, you can't beat that. Let's see what happens. So they're basically saying, we have a great show. Let's take a character that people already love and are rooting for and are thinking about, and let's put her into this petri dish. And so that I'm like, makes sense.
And if she's half as good as JoJo Fletcher, we know.
We know the best Bachelorette of all time.
For those of you who missed part one, that's what JoJo Fletcher introduced Jared to the Bachelor franchise. That's what made him. That's what made him an instant fan of the show. And listen, to your point, it was a smart move because there's been some talk that the show has grown stale. They have a new showrunner, doesn't need to rebrand itself. So I felt like this was a smart casting perspective on their part, bringing someone who already has a massive following and who people like.
Totally. And the only problem is, and I think we can all probably agree, is like, this show does have an element of Cinderella. Like, we do want to watch a love story. If you lose Cinderella, do you lose, like, what the show is? And, that's my one issue, where you go, because you look at her age and kind of the show, she's on another show, so she wants stardom. What man, it's going to take a very specific guy to be with her.
Absolutely.
So what? And again, this is less a reflection on her and more a reflection on the men. You have men in their 20s and 30s, and they're wanting to be on TV to go on a dating show, and she comes with a lot of, she comes with a lot of, like, you have to be a kind of a special partner.
We can say baggage. I think we can say it.
I don't like. everyone has baggage. Everyone, because
that's a lot of life lived.
Well, I don't even want to put it that way.
No.
She has a lot of life to live. Exactly. Like, she has aspirations.
Sure, she does.
So the reason she's on this show is because she thinks her life will be better off. Now, does that mean she thinks her life will be better off with a partner? I don't know. Does she think her life will be better off because she gets more views? She becomes more mainstream? She's not on the Mormon talk. Now she's on the general celebrity TikTok. Like, all of these things. And if you're a guy in 20s or 30s who wants to be on TV, are you able to, like, be the sidekick, which is what you would end up being to this person, which is fine. Relationships work that way sometimes. So Travis Kelce. Well, I always thought Travis Kelce was the perfect partner for Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
Because he's a tight end. Tight ends both score and block. So, right. He knows when to be a blocker and when to be a scorer. Mm-hmm. So it's the same for this. Mm-hmm. Can you block, can you score? And will the guy who has the ability to both block and score be someone she would be even interested in? Be able to stand out on a show like this? So these are all things that with her are actually interesting talking pieces for a show like this. And it's why I love the show and why I like talking about the show. But it's like, because the baggage thing, I don't like to call it that because everyone has baggage. Everyone walks up to a relationship with two bags in their hands. Yeah. And you're only as good a dater as you are an explainer of what's in your hands. So
but some luggage is heavier than others.
Some are. Some luggage is heavy to me and not heavy to you.
True.
So a guy walks in and goes, yeah, I got my own two kids, and I'm looking for this step-by-step, future.
I love it.
Love the ABC mention too. Yeah, step-by-step.
Brand. Come on, buy the special
TGIF.
Come on, I'm here waving the flag. Come on, put the special on Hulu. So, so I'm interested in the mess. I'm interested in how it turns out. So there's, again, like no other season has had this kind of like fodder. So we get it's a little bit new.
I mean, we're talking about this and we're still months away from the premiere. And
right.
People are pretty fired up about it.
Taylor, Frankie, Paul, Sammy, Jesse, Raphael. I mean, we got the whole, I can't wait.
There are people online saying, I haven't watched in 6 years.
Right.
And now I'm coming back to the show.
People are coming back. It does feel like we're the kids who stayed back in our hometowns, and now it's reunion week.
Right.
Hey, is the same bars open? Yeah, we still do hometowns. Still do hometowns.
For sure.
All the bars that I went to in Boca back in the day.
You gotta teach me those bars. I just moved to Delray Beach. You gotta tell me where I should be going.
Your moving videos are hilarious.
Yeah, the moving has been. You can watch on my YouTube. You can see my mom moving me in. At 40.
Oh my God. The box of stuff your dad gave you?
I got yelled at for that video. So I put up this video of my dad gave me all these things to like put in my house. My dad, the minute I moved, and I bought a place in Delray. I'm now a member of the community. I'm the Duke of Delray. And my dad goes, I cannot wait to give you all this stuff I have for you. And then every time he brought up the stuff, my mom goes, he doesn't need any of it.
Did you know what he was talking about when he said
this? I had an idea. He basically looked at me. He was like licking his lips. Like I was like, he was really
That's never a good
weirdly
sign.
excited about giving me all this crap because he was like, I finally I can unload it on you.
Yeah,
And
right.
it was the junkiest of junks, and he gave me so many mustards and ketchups that he had been, for whatever reason, stealing. My dad is a thief. He's a total thief. And I unpacked the bag or the box on Instagram, and I'm looking at it just going by piece, and I was like, it's all stuff he's stolen from golf club locker rooms. And some of it is. Some of it you go, it's definitely doesn't, you can't even purchase this in a store. You can't get talcum powder with, he's got
Kids these days don't even know what talcum powder is.
Right.
We should point out.
I got like 30 pounds of talcum powder, and my dad calls me. He goes, "Get it off! Get it off! People are gonna think I'm stealing." I'm like, "You are. That's all you've done. I mean, every gift I've ever gotten from my dad has come from a lost and found."
He's a regifter.
Yeah, totally.
Just say the people don't want it back. It's fine. They don't want the talcum powder back. They expect you to take it.
They know no one's looking for their wedding ring.
Max's room, they want the silverware back.
Well, you're the Duke of Delray and the Chancellor of Condiments. Now,
Thank you.
too.
Now,
yeah, two great titles.
Thank you.
Thanks to Dad.
I take my role seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you make an appearance on this upcoming season?
I would love to. I would love to go on. I mean,
So they haven't asked
listen,
you yet because
not
we know
yet,
they're
not yet.
taping. Okay.
I would
They're gonna
love
bring
to
you
go
back
on.
for
No, I haven't been asked to go on Taylor Frankie Paul, Ty Bryan season. I keep coming up with more. So
It's very 90s.
yeah,
As a guy who's so passionate about this franchise, and I argue with some people in this office about these new shows that are on Netflix and other streaming services, these other dating shows, won't The Bachelor always have a certain je ne sais quoi to it because it was the OG dating show? And do you think that's why it's kind of withstood the test of time, even with all of these other shows that have come on and have grown into immense popularity in recent years?
I think The Bachelor, it's tough for these other shows to really like stand up to it because it really centers on how we see ourselves. We are the star of our own movie. And when we date, we think of ourselves and the three other people we're dating. I'm texting with that person. I've been on one date with that person. I've been on 3 dates with that person. That's how we think of our lives. So we never think of like, well, they're dating 3 other people.
Sure.
So The Bachelor is kind of like the TV equivalent of how we think of ourselves. It's us with 30 other people. So like, I think that, the idea that like, yes, they're, when you're single and you're dating someone else who's single, yes, they're dating other people, but that's not how you think of things. So it kind of is like from, the show comes from our worldview. So it's kind of tough to compete with, I think, as like for the other ones, because it's too much from both sides,
Sure.
So I don't know. I always thought The Bachelor, I've always like, I always have notes. I'm always like, I wish they did this date. I wish we could see them like, I like even Bachelor in Paradise. I was like, whenever they would get into a couple, I'd be like, send them off the island. Let's have them live together. Like make that the YouTube special version. I have all these ideas, but
Yeah, the template really hasn't changed much
No.
in 20 plus years.
I just want
of
like,
doing this show.
yeah, different dates is always my ask. But as far as the show's concerned, like I watch some other shows, I watch other dating shows. The Bachelor, again, Cinderella combined with, we're all our own Cinderella. We're all thinking of ourselves similarly. So
you talk about what a show would look like with different dates.
mhm.
I have a little game Gina and I have been working on.
Can't wait.
Who would make the
This
better
is
bachelor?
as nervous as I've ever been
Oh, you
hosting
should
this
be. You should
podcast.
Are you single?
Yeah, I'm single. Yeah, bro.
You're out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You live in the city?
I live in the city, right here in Seaport.
So you go, are you on the apps?
I'm not on the apps. I'm old school. No.
Old school.
I
He's
hope
on
people
DMs
just-
every
I
day.
get dates off
He's
this
so
podcast.
old school. He's
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Right.
DMing every chick he gets. Yeah, I'm old school. Yeah, I'm sure you're going up to their dad's house with some flowers.
I've been doing this.
Can I take your daughter out? Old school. Get out of here. Old school.
I've been doing the
Will
same.
you give me the honor of letting me take out your daughter?
There's
I bought
usually
you
some
a
trumpets
cow.
involved. Yeah, horse and carriage. We the whole 9 yards.
All right. So, if you're the Bachelor?
Yeah.
This is for both of you. So
Okay,
we'll let Jared.
hypothetically speaking.
Yes, you're the Bachelor. What is your ideal first date with your first one-on-one contestant?
The guest of honor, go ahead. Start us off, buddy.
Ideal
No
one-on-one date, first date would be we go for brunch and we have to order at brunch, and I give them the menu and they go through the menu and they have to order what we get for the whole table. Okay? And then we go from there. That would be, so it would be brunch, and then it would move into a nap. And there would be a bed set
Straight to the good stuff,
right.
huh?
Well,
Yeah,
you get
this bed set up
You
here.
get in your PJs, I get my PJs. Let's see how this cuddling situation goes. Then we get up after we both spend an hour in the bathroom, and then we go on the nighttime portion, which is another dinner where they have to do the ordering, and I can see how they work.
Is this date 1 or date 5? I feel like we've skipped a few steps here.
As you know, Ryan,
It's an accelerated timeline.
Listen,
Yeah,
when
because
you
we
get
are
to
on
this,
The Bachelor.
when you get to this age, I don't want date 1 anymore. I've done date 1. I want date 5 on date 1.
I'm gonna say just happy hour. You know, I'm old school, as Jared likes that I say that.
I'm old
A nice
so
couple
funny.
drinks, some great conversation, maybe a nice walk afterwards. Maybe grab a bite if it continues to do that. But yeah, no bet on the first date, at least.
Gina.
This isn't about sex.
We didn't say that. We said it was a
see-
straight cuddle
I
set.
want to see how we cuddle. Do we fit?
Straight cuddle
Pick
set.
a good one.
Does she go outside spoon sometimes? I like a 30-70 split.
Not 70-30 split.
No,
30-70. Yes, important ratio. Gina, go ahead. Fire away. We got time for one more question.
Okay, so one more?
One more. We're
Only
short
one
on
more?
time. That's it.
Let's go.
All right. We all know that you have to keep, for the show, you have to keep the ending a secret. But of course, I know the two of you will not do that.
That is true.
So who are you telling?
blabbermouths.
Who do you trust not to spill the secret?
Because you'll get sued.
Oh, who could I tell?
The opposite.
Oh, I would tell my brother. He wouldn't tell anybody. I know my brother wouldn't say a word. He is if I told my mom, everyone would know before I even told her. She would tell everyone. No, my mom, sometimes I'll send my mom a link, and then it'll be a test link to see if she sends it to anyone. I'll go, that was the fake one.
Oh, it's like fishing.
She passed the test.
Right.
I love how you have to do this with your mom, by the way.
Right. My brother, though, he would steel trap. How about you?
Steel trap. I'm going to go with my little sister. Same.
Yeah.
Steel trap. Trust her with my life.
Yeah.
She would definitely get all the tea, and I know she wouldn't spill it. So that's the final answer.
Jen, that Ryan didn't say us.
Yeah. There's a reason why. You know the whole thing that he gave his mom with the fake code? I know you two would be...
These are the insiders.
Absolutely.
You guys are the insiders.
The insiders and the experts.
Because
We're not giving you
he's
any of
our
the tea.
guest, and because I like brunch a lot, this is for you.
Hey, look at this.
You are our new bachelor.
Now, for those of you listening online and not watching, Jared, what do we give you here? It looks like some chocolate roses.
Dozen Belgian chocolate roses.
Then you know they're
Maybe we go to Belgium on one of our international group dates.
Absolutely. Brussels, here we come.
I love it.
You can
I
hand
accept.
them to
I
ladies
accept.
on the street or eat them yourself.
Thank you,
You can get
guys.
some dates with these.
It is a Monday. I'm trying to get back.
That's actually one of my old school tricks that I do to get dates, is I pass out chocolate roses. Yeah, is that your move? Now Jared's stealing my
Very
thunder
old
here.
school.
Unbelievable. This guy. So your book's coming out when?
Book, it comes out in June, but you can pre-sales begun.
The book is called Walking Red Flag, Dating Advice from Your Favorite Guy Friend.
If you like me and you feel a connection to me, buy it now, because that's like they say the pre-order is the most important.
Absolutely.
I didn't know this. I'm just.
We have
learning this.
3 autographed copies coming into studio. I'm looking forward to
They will
that.
be personally signed, given to you with a chocolate Belgian rose.
Come back.
There he goes regifting again.
I'll come back all season long. I would love to talk Bachelor. You guys. I love talking.
would love that.
I love a Bachelor conversation.
We're going to do a quarterly check-in with Jared on
Yes,
everything,
please,
all
please.
things
I would
Bachelor
love that.
universe. People that want to follow you on social media, how can they do that?
At Jared Freid on Instagram. That's the best way to do it. I yell at The Bachelor on my stories every episode live on Instagram, and then I put them up on TikTok. So I'm on there, Wizard of Ha, on TikTok.
And all the talcum powder videos are on there
the
as well.
talcum powder. I had to take that one down. My dad was so mad. He's like, they're going to be talking about me.
Ick and those are my favorite. Oh, yeah.
Yes, the ick. I've done that to no ends. Yeah, it's all there. So I got podcasts, the U Up podcast, dating podcast, modern dating podcast.
He's everywhere. We love it.
Never shut up. So,
And we're not mad about it.
Thank you.
And if you like our podcast, what do you need to
Like and
do,
follow
Jen?
us and give us a review.
Give us a review.
Yeah, do the
give us the
reviews.
comments.
Well, what should I write in their review? They should write what their perfect first date is.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no question. And find out if they're on the apps or not.
Yeah.
And if they say no, we won't believe them.
Yeah. Liars.
Liars. On this very podcast. Listen, we can't thank Jared Freid enough for being here today, our guest of honor. And yes, we will be having him back here on Playing the Field real soon. And Gina and Jen were with us as well. And thank you so much for being here as always. I'm Ryan Field. We'll see you next time on Playing the Field.